Jim, roll.
Conan, present. Deal. Friedman.
Here.
Martyr.
Here.
Ramirez.
Here.
Hamlin. Wallers.
Here. Okay, would you join me in the pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the first item for action is approval of the meeting minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting on February 28th and closed meeting February 28th and personnel meeting on February 28th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the minutes? Okay, hearing none, call the roll, please.
Ramirez.
Yes.
Wallers.
Yes.
Conan. Yes. Friedman.
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes.
Correspondence. So as Sarah mentioned, it looks like we have an invite to the Rayburn Cricket Club. So I'm aware of, you've got some correspondence?
Yes, so we also have from suggestion box, we want to keep the puzzle swap, asking for more frontside shelving for the nonfiction, more things and contests in the teen area, more accessible handicap parking, to clean up our shelves, they're a mess, to add a computer to the study rooms, to have more family programs for multiple age children during spring break, and just to be better.
Oh, all right.
So Sarah, how do you process those now?
So we have the board take a look at them, and then our meeting for our staff is the next day, and we give them to each department as it qualifies.
Okay. So the handicap parking, obviously is a set number by the federal government, so if we're exceeding that, that's probably something we need to look into.
That's correct. We have had people ask for it at this building to be close, but it's a fire lane, but we can go back and double check.
Okay. All right.
Comment on the shelves are a mess.
We will be reading the shelves. Sometimes people put things in the wrong spot, or it happens at every library. We're not perfect, but we will read the shelves.
Maybe it was a particularly busy day.
It was. And we got a lot of books, so.
Yeah. Okay, good. Next is financials.
We are on track with the revenues and expenditures and fund balances on page 11. All of our items are in budget except for the miscellaneous expense, which is because of the consultant fee for the bookmobile. But overall, everything is well within or under budget. If there were any questions about a particular line item?
Any questions for Sarah? Okay, accept the motion if someone would like to.
Motion to approve all of the fund balance and revenue expense reports.
I'll second.
All right, moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Martyr.
Yes.
Ramirez.
Yes.
Wallers.
Yes.
Conan. Yes. Friedman.
Yes.
All right, now we have accounts payable.
Page 1 31, under American Express, you'll see slat wall under marketing. That's the wall right as you come here in Montgomery that now has all of the programs listed by age group. If people can just come in and take a look and stand in front and see what they like.
What page number?
I'm sorry, that's page 21. It's under American Express, under marketing. On page 23, under hoopla, we have 6,000. We have had several requests to increase our hoopla amount, and we'll be looking at that for our next budget. And page 25, under exchange server upgrade, that was something with Bob.
We bought a new Exchange server.
Thank you, Bob.
We were out of date, and so it's now up to, not hack-proof, but it's now up to snuff.
Stop.
So
And then
on the hoopla one, is that like, if we don't up it, are we limiting access to something, or what's going on?
exactly, we limit it to 4 per month.
Okay.
And looking around at our other area libraries, they're a little higher. But because of the expense, we've been keeping it low. But we're going to look at adding that as one of our #1 requests is for more checkouts in Hoopla, especially if you're doing a TV series. You're waiting for your 4th episode and you're waiting. So
So a 4 per,
4 per person per
Per
card,
person.
yep.
Per month,
Hmm?
right? Per month.
Per month, yep.
and how many like total accesses do we have in there? Is that like a lot, how many,
Yeah.
just big numbers, or?
Yeah, I can get that.
Or if you got that in another report?
It's right in another report,
Tell
I'll
me
point
it's
it
in
out
another
for sure.
report.
Absolutely. Are there any questions about any of the bills?
I just have one question about it. I'm starting to notice, especially this month, on an occasional basis, we're having to pay other libraries. There was a big one this month to the Naperville Public Library for somebody who checked books out on an Oswego card and then didn't return the books to the Naperville Public Library. I guess my first question is have you noticed an increase in frequency of this? And second of all, do we ever recover the money that we're paying to other libraries
We
for
just,
lost books?
yes, we generally do. So then we pay it as part of our interlibrary
I know.
loan, and then we charge the patron, and we send something to the patron. And their
Okay.
card is just, depending on the amount, it's blocked.
Did we recover this particular one? There was
Not yet.
we haven't recovered from that person yet.
Correct.
Okay.
Is this long overdue, or is it recent?
I think the Naperville
It
one
was
was,
from January, I believe.
so after a long time, they bill us.
I can tell you that I've been to the Naperville Library with my Oswego card, and I went in there, and I had a pretty nice stack of books. And when I got up to the checkout desk, she started sifting through them. And she said, she put some in this pile and some in this pile, and then she said, "You can't have these." And I said, "Why not?" "Well, these are all brand new ones, and we won't let you check those out with an Oswego card." I don't think you were with me that night. So that was one of my experiences there, using an Oswego card at the Naperville Public Library.
So noted.
In the meantime, there are 3 or 4 people waiting in line to check out, and of course, then it becomes embarrassing, because, well, you can't have these, she said. Those were her exact words, "You can't have these."
How long ago was that?
That was a while ago, a few years back.
That's crazy.
Still good.
Oh,
I like it.
Okay, any other questions on the bills? If not, take a motion.
Motion for the approval of the March 2024 bills in the amount of $295,744.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the bills? Okay, hearing none, please call the roll.
Martyr,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Wallers,
Yes.
Conan, abstain, Friedman,
yes.
Okay, next up is director's report.
I just wanted to point on page 31, under e-resource checkouts, you'll see by the checkout service, the number per month and then the amount we had so far this fiscal year. For example, Hoopla, ebooks and comics, which is the first line, we've had 6,564 checkouts this year, and we had almost one short of 800 in February. An idea of how people use each of our digital items there.
So the charge was around 6,000, so it is about $1 a checkout, is that?
It depends, sometimes something more popular might be a little more, and something less popular might be a little less. So, but yeah, in general, absolutely. We have continued to increase numbers circulated. We had 45,000 items circulated last month, 268 new patrons registered. We had 1,968 programs attended. Outreach is getting started. They had a Grand Park Elementary STEM event with which they spoke to 160 people. That's wonderful. Our library road trip, which runs from March 23rd through April 30th to catch all the spring breaks. We have it again with 17 libraries. That will be starting, and the mobile app is working again. That was one we've been waiting for, so we're very happy with that. Are there any questions on the director's report or any of the reports from the different departments?
Oh, I see 8 people with Naperville cards, checkbooks out, so very reciprocate.
All right, anything else on the director's report? If not, take a motion.
I move we approve the director's report.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any other discussion? Hearing none, Jim, please call the roll.
Friedman,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Wallers,
Yes.
Conan, yes.
Good, excellent. Committee reports, the best way now, we don't have any reports.
For Christine, there was a personnel meeting that was discussed the salaries for fiscal year '25 and positions. And we were also looking to set a possible finance committee meeting where Andrew Kim from PMA would be doing a more deep dive. He suggested Monday the 22nd or Wednesday the 17th of next month at 5:30. And I said I would forward those dates, and I can forward them an email. People can look at their calendars if that's
What
easier.
were those 2 days?
Monday the 22nd or Wednesday the 17th at 5:30, either the Wednesday before the board meeting or the Monday of the same week of the board meeting.
We're talking April,
April, yes.
so the 22nd is a Monday.
Yes,
Okay, I have a conflict that day.
okay.
And I'm gonna be in Springfield on the 17th, so,
I'll get more dates.
yeah.
No worries.
Gee, I'll cross that out.
Okay, any other things on the committee reports we need to talk about?
No.
Okay, unfinished business?
We have requests for some numbers for maintenance of the vehicles, fuel, and insurance. I checked with some libraries with some similar sized vehicles that were recent purchases. They gave me around $2,250 for fuel for 2 vehicles. Of course, it's a much smaller space. We would probably be driving more mileage and need more gas, so that's just a thing. And they also have a contract of fuel with another government agency, which I thought was very interesting, something we can maybe work on when we do that. They had $17,000 annually for maintenance, but they said both of their vehicles were very complex and had a lot of customization, so that's something we want to look at when we start to go a little further into the outreach vehicles. As well as a quote as $3,500 for Hartfield insurance, and they did need to use a driver's license, so I used mine, which is perfect. So it might be hard for some other people.
And then we have the tree walk.
Tree walk, I met with the engineers on Friday. We are doing, working on this with the Oswego Park District, so we checked with their engineer, which is Strand Associates. as well as their subcontractor for the engineer, which is Hitchcock Design Group. They would be looking for a conceptual plan. There's no notes because I just met with them, so sorry about
I
that.
was just saying.
Yeah, so you'll see the notes are here, which are kind of eligible, so eligible there. They'll be looking on a conceptual plan layout and elevational views for two alternatives to a pedestrian bridge from our Oswego campus to the property across the way. So this would be over the Wabansie Creek. One would be a prefabricated bridge truss, and the other would be a traditional steel stringer bridge. The bridges would incorporate architectural railings, LED lighting, and signature brick look, and they would be coming up with a construction cost. And then once we get that, then we can look at some other ways to fund it. I asked them to give us a formal request that would be at the next board meeting, that the board can then look through and have a price.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think you have two very good consultants working on the project, so that's good.
It came recommended from the Park District.
Yeah, no, absolutely, very good. All right, and then Montgomery campus?
Or we can do a board walkthrough either before the comments or after the comments. They usually walk around the building and look at the new items, but everybody could do them on their own if they'd like.
Does everybody want after? Okay, fine with me. Okay, good. We don't have to do that as, or do we come back and then adjourn, or can we?
We can come back and then adjourn. We have to be in session when we do
Because
it.
there's too many of us, okay. Got it. Okay, any new business? Okay, next on our agenda is our open session for public comments. We're limiting the time to a nominal 3 minutes. And we have 3 speakers. So, okay, first is Michael Kremski.
Hi, I'm going to pick up where I was talking last week about the public comments policy. The public comments rules established by this board are vague, can be interpreted in arbitrary, subjective fashion, are content-based, and allow Mr. Chairman to make rule changes not defined in the current policy or on the spot. Rule number 11 states individuals addressing the board must at all times adhere to the library policies and other rules as may be necessary for the efficient and orderly conduct of the meeting. So what library rules apply to the comments? Which other rules apply? How are the people supposed to know about these rules? If someone fails to return a book on time, are they barred from speaking in a meeting? This rule allows Mr. Tamlin to restrict speech or speakers with whom he disagrees without due process and without proper notice in advance to people regarding rules governing public comments. Rule number 14 states that abusive, profane, frivolous, harassing, and/or repetitive comments and/or personal attacks will not be permitted. If any member of the public indulges in such remarks or otherwise engages in conduct injurious to the harmony of the board in the meeting, the speaker will forfeit the opportunity to speak at future meetings. Who will decide which comments violate the rule? Is Mr. Tamlin allowed to disrupt, harass, abuse, and personally attack speakers during their comments? This is an arbitrary, subjective standard, right for abuse. The rule is an attack on the basic tenets of our constitutional republic. This rule is content-based and violates the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and Article 1, Section 4 and 5 of the Illinois Constitution. Rule number 15 states that the failure to adhere to the above rules or the other library policies may result in the removal of the speaker from the library. What rules and policies apply? Who will determine that? Who will enforce the rule? There is no rational relationship between such a rule and the public comments. And this is my favorite, rule number 17. The board president shall have the authority to determine future procedures regarding public participation not otherwise defined in the board policy. So how we know how Mr. Cameron's feeling today. Will he make a rule without due process and without proper notice in advance to the people? Do I need to remind the board that we live in America with inalienable rights? And what are inalienable rights? Well, John Adams said, antecedent to all earthly government, rights that cannot be repealed or restrained by human law, rights derived from the great legislator of the universe. The 600 changing principles of the Declaration of Independence, or inalienable rights, are: there is a divine creator, inalienable rights come from God, government exists to protect inalienable rights, there is a fixed moral law, the government's power only comes from the consent of the people, and the people have the right to change their government. Most of this board has already proved themselves untrustworthy with the very little limited power allocated by the supreme law of the land. The board has selectively enforced the rules against speakers engaged in speech critical to the library board, or speakers challenging the type of books with unrestricted access to minors while allowing favorable speakers to continue. I'm requesting that the board brings this matter to the next board meeting as agenda item. I expect a speedy remedy to the trampling of the people's inalienable rights. I'm requesting the board to remove all adopted rules that encroach upon the people's rights.
Thank you. All right, next up is Barb Petrie.
Thank you. The wisest man on earth said this: if you reprove the intelligent, he will understand what you mean. I am here tonight in humility, but under authority, to offer reproof. The intelligent will understand. Last month, Julie started the reproof by pointing out that this board carries the potential of being complicit with the young person's addiction to porn. You may also be complicit with cultivating a societal environment advantageous for sex traffickers. It has been made known to the public that part of the strategy of traffic rings is the early sexualization of children. By putting porn easily within children's reach, this board helps traffickers ply their deplorable trade. Hence, the reproof is that in these two ways, this board has potential of being complicit in things really dark. Additionally, I have observed that when board member Martyr suggests a meeting to discuss ways to protect the children, Mr. Tamblin shuts him down. Persisting on this path displays that you do not have the children's best interest at heart. It exposes that you are loyal to an agenda which is ultimately against them. This agenda constantly assaults the children in body and/or soul, as comprehensively it contains porn, pedophilia, homosexuality, drag, trafficking, and transgender mutilation. These are all shoots from the same root of sexual deviancy and perversion. I hope you understand, these are not in the children's best interest. There is a power higher than this board who does have the children's best interest at heart. And these are his words: the children are my holy heritage, and I will arise in fury to defend them and to wipe out their destroyers. I will supply healing and recompense to the children for all they have suffered, and they will arise as my kingdom sons and daughters, filled with my glory and my love. The speaker promising glory and love is none other than Jesus Christ. The speaker promising to rescue his children from the whole scheme of sexual atrocities and the hatred, veiled or blatant, behind them is Jesus Christ. He is the King of the whole earth and the just judge of all humanity. It is up to you and to each of us whether we will receive harsh judgments for cooperating with predators or great reward for partnering with the rescuer. I would like to leave you with the consideration which the wisest man also said. All a person's ways are right in his own view, but the Lord God weighs the heart.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. I just felt in my heart that I know you have little kids. I thought this might mean something to you.
Who is Diana Larkin?
You can look her up online. And then I was also wondering if you would give this to Mr. Tamblin. I would have given it to him if he was here. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Molly Krimsky.
Hi. Before I start, I just want to say congratulations to your board member, Jim Martyr, for his political victory last night. He is now a Republican candidate for the U.S. Congress in the 14th District and will go up against Lauren Underwood this fall, so that's pretty amazing. Congratulations to you. I saw this morning that it was like a landslide victory, so it's encouraging to me that people are coming out to vote for candidates who are standing up for parents' rights, so thank you for being there. So I've come to read another prophetic warning that was released just a few days ago on Saturday, March 16th. I have a sense that the warnings are about to run out, but as long as God is giving them, I will keep delivering them. The word begins. The Father is dealing with leaders who are bullies, abusers, and swindlers. He's pulling them into his loving correction. Should they not resist and repent, they will be brought into healing and deliverance to set them free. They have tried to brush over the basics, pretending things are okay when clearly they are not. Try as they may, these insecure, hurting leaders have tried to justify their positions, and in doing so, they have pushed God away along with the truth, leaving many wounded in their path. They are only fooling themselves. They have worn stubbornness, arrogance, and attitude as a badge of honor. This denial and evasive dance they are doing is about to come to an end as the Lord draws near to settle accounts. In the same manner, God is bringing deep healing to those victims that have suffered by the hands of these leaders. They will emerge stronger and more compassionate, full of love, mercy, and grace. These shall be entrusted to care for the hurting and the broken. They shall have authority to bring healing, just as the Father has healed them. He's going to shred the lies, the name-calling, the branding, and every evil deed and action taken. The Father shall vindicate and restore them. Woe to those who do not heed his call of repentance and who continue in their wicked ways, for there will be a great price to pay.
Thank you. Okay, so I know some people came in late. Does anybody else want to speak? And your name, please?
Margaret Sheehan. I'm from Oswego.
I'm sorry, what was your last name?
Sheehan, S-H-E-E-H-A-N.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I apologize for being late. I was on time to the main library.
Sure.
I wrote the wrong library time, and I apologize.
No problem.
About 20 years ago, the Diary of Anne Frank, a new edition of the Diary of Anne Frank, was released. And it had more explicit content that Anne had written in her diary, and the first editor, Otto Frank, her father, had not released in the 1947 edition. And the new edition of Anne Frank has been banned in a number of places. If this board goes through with a separate shelf in the adult section, that shelf will be a secret annex. And the Diary of Anne Frank will not be available to children within this library district. And what the critics don't understand is the unintended consequences of this. Not only will children have to have IDs to access this material, but the library will have to develop a database that includes the parents' religion or religious structures. And within this district, there are even more stricter sects that will also want representation. The library would have to maintain, as said earlier, the birth dates of children in a government database. The library would have to maintain the sexual preferences of the parents so that those are not violated by making the materials available to children. This is too much, and this is not what the library is all about. And I suggest an alternative, something called parenting, because librarians are not government-funded babysitters. I want to say that again, because some people really don't get it. Librarians are not publicly funded government babysitters. If the parent wants to restrict readings, I have no problem with it. I'll support them. What I will not do is expect that a librarian would do that. That is the parent's decision. And until books jump off the shelf and chase children through the stacks, there is no reason to segregate them, because a secret annex is still removing them from circulation. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else?
I'm Jan Litvene, Litvene. And I just want to say I've been really very surprised and haven't really experienced the viewpoint that you present, and I know it can be many places. But I think what I would want to say is that the library seems like it has to deal with lights and driveways and how to get money and funding and to remain what it is. And I grew up, and I still believe that there is a separation between church and state, and that any effort that can be made to work towards that, and I know people do, many people do, would be good. And no, I thought that your letter, when you went through and gave your points, were really, they were your points, and it would be, I mean, I'd like to have a copy or know where it is, or to at least there could be dialogue if you would want. And that's all I wanted to say. But last time I said, I think the library does a great job, and I really appreciate everyone. That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else? Okay, thank you for that. So next on our agenda is going to be to do a walking tour. Certainly everybody can come with, big party. And then we're coming back to, I think we're just going to come back and adjourn, right? But, you know, we'll make sure everybody knows.
Do we have a closed session tonight?
I don't have anything, and no. So I guess what we need is a motion to adjourn the meeting to the library?
No, because it's on the agenda, we can do the walkthrough, we
So-
just need a motion at the end.
So we don't need a motion.
No,
Okay.
no.
All right.
Oh my goodness, watch out for
Yes.
this.
Ben, I just wanted to tell you, my wife and I were in the Anne Frank House last September,
Oh my goodness.
and
Do a little walk in front.
it was
Okay.
quite an experience.
I would
And
imagine.
it was very emotional. And I'm glad we had the opportunity, my wife and I are very glad we had the opportunity to be there and actually see it in person. I've read her book,
What
and
struck
I'm
me-
aware of the new book that's out, and I'm aware of what the issue is regarding it. So, but I just wanted to let you know that we've been there and what it is to be there. It's quite an experience.
You got going on the walkthrough with us?
Thanks, though.
Anne had to write that when she had absolutely no
Oh,
privacy.
when you say no privacy, remember her privacy, remember what she had?
Yeah, you can come with us.
She didn't have any privacy.
There was no
She lived
privacy.
in that room with another man.
Exactly. She had to live with an adult male. It was,
I think Sarah wants the door locked.
I think it's a good idea.
I guess this is, the next thing we need is a steady cam.
All for it, Bob. So Krista's vision is to open up as you go along. The seating was right next to it, so now they can use it and they do a lot of study using whiteboards. That's really great.
Oh, just don't use that. Do you have a coffee shop for
I'm agnostic, I can go to anywhere.
anywhere here? As long as I have coffee?
Yeah. I like the little bakery in downtown Montgomery, on the corner. But, you know,
Full, so she's waiting for it. So she said you could have an empty one. There's somebody waiting for it, so real fast. Krista repainted. Oh, they look nice. They added a whiteboard. They added the small stand there with the cleaning products and everything, and they've been, as you can see, super busy.
good.
Also the changes.
Nice work.
She did a great job, Krista.
Are there more rooms now?
Just these 4, which is the same as before, but Krista kind of improved them. And then we added, and then they added the 3 over in the other building.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
You guys need a room?
Oh, no.
What are you guys filming?
Oh, it's the library board. We're just showing them the improvements that
Oh.
we've done. So.
I do like the improvements.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
in here every day, so
Awesome.
I like the market board. Very, I appreciate it.
Customer experience.
Just like you rehearsed.
I did, good job.
He's not a plant.
Not a plan.
My husband uses them from time to time.
Oh,
so-
excellent.
Good.
Very popular.
I'll be sure to ask his review.
Yes.
Have you ever been to Grace at the workshop?
I've heard about it, not done my work.
Okay.
Howdy, boss.
Did you try to?
Doing fine. How are you?
All right.
Taking out some of the since they're not as used as often, so they're kind of limiting them and they've moved the magazines to the front.
How many magazines now? Not many.
Not many. That's what's being published,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you, everybody.
Nice work.
Yeah, this is so nice. Isn't that beautiful?
I like it a lot.
I know.
I can't resist. It's bad. I know.
If my girls were here, I'd be like, away from the big knock it off the wall.
They put all the little ones up on top because they were on a table.
Oh.
I was like, okay, this is
Smart
a
move.
little too.
I appreciate you.
Does that feel like fairy art?
Yeah, like I feel like I would see this at the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep changing things.
which I can't wait for.
Anything. Glad they still have a British home.
If only it was a police box.
target.
So look at the slat walks. We want to do that at Oswego too.
I like it.
But it means taking down that wallpaper with all the quotes. I know that's more.
Thank you.
Cool.
I will not fall.
I remember when those were in fashion when I was younger, and I had like a real mind blowing moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are they out there?
Are they waiting up there?
I'll go peek.
Let me go see if anybody's waiting.
Yep.
Opening day, March 28th. Dawson, Texas.
And which library is opening? Who is opening? You're good.
Okay. Next meeting is the regular meeting on April 24th at 5:30 PM at the Oswego campus, sorry. I would take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, moving seconded, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Thank you, we're adjourned.